Good evening, everybody, and welcome. We met in exec session. We've done this flag salute, so I will read the public statement notice. This is a regular meeting of the Board of Education of Bernards Township. Notice of the time and place of this meeting was provided, and copies of that resolution were forwarded to the official newspapers as designated by the Board of Education and the Township Clerk, and a copy of the notice was posted on the bulletin board in the Board of Education offices. For those members of the public who cannot attend our meeting in person, there is a live stream available and posted on the district website. We very much welcome input from the public. There are 2 times during regular meetings that the public is invited to speak. One time is early in the meeting before the board votes, when you may speak about any item that is listed on tonight's agenda. Towards the end of the meeting, there's another public forum to address any matter of public concern related to the schools. When you approach the microphone, please state your name and address. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes duration. No participant may speak more than once during a given public comment session. The first public comment session will be limited to 30 minutes and the second will be unlimited. In order to run efficient meetings and to allow maximum opportunity for members of the public to speak, the board reserves the right to set a different time limit for individual comments and the overall time limit for the public comments portion of the agenda. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer, and no participant may address or question board members individually. Please understand the public comment portions of our agenda are not structured as question and answer sessions, but are offered as opportunities to share your thoughts with the board. The board administration will respond to public comment to the extent possible. Any board response to public comments will generally be addressed during board forum or committee reports. However, all comments are considered and will be investigated and addressed as appropriate. Please be courteous and mindful of the rights of others when speaking. Comments may not be abusive, obscene, threatening, or irrelevant. Please understand that students and employees have specific legal and privacy protections. The board is not permitted to respond in public to comments about students and employees. Please also understand the board will not be responsible for the content of comments made by members of the public. Members of the public are cautioned that they are speaking at their own risk, and any personally directed statements they make may subject them to legal liability to the affected individual. If it's necessary for the board to go into exec session at the end of the meeting, we will provide an estimated length of time for the session and whether any action is anticipated to be taken upon returning to the public session. And with that, we are up to our student representative report.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us on a busy Monday. My name is MJ and I am the Ridge High School representative. Today I'll be going over recent updates to Ridge High School. I'll be going over 3 recent events that occurred really to better our community. First, the school-wide student government, we successfully concluded a season of school spirit with our annual pep rally in collaboration with Ridge Football, our school spirit costumes week, and our annual homecoming games. The football season also had a historic turnout rate with hundreds of students geared up for school spirit. Students find these annual events to be incredibly memorable to the high school experience, and we are grateful to have your financial support in these endeavors. Second, in response to recently shutting down Google Chats, teams and Ridge students have adapted by utilizing Google Classroom or emailing as necessary. For instance, my own Ridge speech and debate team, which I am a part of, has diverged to Google Classroom over Google Chats, and our efficiency has not really changed. Although Ridge students do hope that the ban is temporary, students have again adapted, and we 100% understand that those who misuse it need to reflect on their actions. Lastly, within the student government, we have made reforms to become better liaisons for the students. We reopened Ridge Reports this year. Ridge Reports is a forum where students can voice their concerns, comments, and suggestions for Ridge High School. The school-wide student government will read through and address the students on Ridge Reports every marking period. We will confer with the Ridge High School administration and use these comments as a basis for beneficial change to our school community. Additionally, we have mandated impact reports for all of student representatives this year, meaning that all student representatives will be held accountable to bring up student suggestions to the administration, advocate for positive changes, and to the board, as well as ensuring that student needs in regards to fundraising and other school activities are met. In the upcoming winter months, we are looking forward to our first full Board of Education meeting with the entirety of 4 student governments. Thank you for your continual support of our Ridge High School community.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions or anything for? As always, you are welcome to stay, but we also understand if you have a full workload, you are welcome to leave at any time that works for you. We are up to the superintendent's report, and there are 5 items.
Okay, thank you, Ms. White. So the first item is our state assessment results. We will certainly link this to the minutes. These were discussed in the curriculum committee as well. Our second item is our school bus evacuation drills. We have to adopt those as they happen throughout the school year. We have an overnight trip for a couple of students helping with a National Council of Teachers of English presentation. Our HIB report for October 27th and approving the school nursing plan, which has to be done on an annual basis, outlining our nursing services.
Okay, the state assessment results for the spring of 2025, I'm just going to speak about them for a few minutes and give a bit of a summary. You'll see, like Mr. Markarian said, them linked in a few places on tonight's agenda, one under the superintendent's report, but also through the curriculum committee minutes that are public and that Mr. Molinari will speak about later in the meeting. So this report is something we're required to do within 60 days of receipt of the scores. As a result, we are now giving 2 reports, one in the summer, which is the results of the junior graduation proficiency assessment results that happened in July, and then tonight's report, which is part 2, which are the NJSLA results for the 9th grade and the 11th grade for the science results. So those specific results are what were reviewed at the August Curriculum Committee meeting. So the full report is here, and we can certainly entertain any questions from the public, either through a curriculum committee meeting or at a certain point in this meeting. But the goal of the report is for us to share publicly the results of our students' performance on these assessments and our analysis of those results, which includes areas of strength as well as areas of focus. So in the area of mathematics, and I would just say at the beginning, we were really pleased with our overall results this year and are very happy to report to you how well our students and our staff did working on this assessment for last spring. So in mathematics, the results were extraordinary, we feel, posting the highest performance in grades 3 through 7 since the assessment's inception. Across all grades, the district continued to outperform the state, with an average subgroup increase of 5 percentage points and notable gains in the areas of operations and algebraic thinking and modeling and reasoning. Significant progress was seen at both Liberty Corner and Oak Street schools, reflecting the positive impact of our daily intervention blocks and targeted instructional supports. We're especially proud of these elementary results achieved during the first year of implementation of the Envision Mathematics program. Performance in Algebra 1, our participation rate in grade 9, and a few of our subgroup populations, including our multilingual learners, our students with disabilities, and economically disadvantaged students, are the groups that warrant some further investigation this year. To do that, we have expanded our tutoring opportunities for students at the middle and the high school. We'll continue our focus on the elementary intervention block and our ongoing collaboration with special services and multilingual education and data-driven analysis in order to deepen our understanding of student performance and monitor ongoing progress. In the area of English language arts, we also saw exceptional overall performance, with grades 4 and 5 achieving record-breaking proficiency rates and all elementary grades surpassing pre-pandemic achievement levels. While we celebrate significant gains at the elementary level, including a remarkable 91.6 proficiency in grade 5, we have identified specific areas requiring focused attention in grade 3 and grade 9, where performance declined from previous years. As I said, similar to math, we've implemented targeted interventions and data analysis systems to address these areas while building on the strong instructional practices that produced outstanding results across most grade levels. In the area of science, the assessment is a little bit different. Students are tested only 3 times in grades 5, 8, and 11, but our scores across those 3 grades continue to outperform state averages. We did see increases in grades 5 and 8 by a few percentage points, and a slight decrease in grade 11 of 1.8%. But with 30% of our juniors participating in that assessment, it is difficult to reach any conclusions about our program or student performance on the junior science assessment. Because the students are only tested 3 times in science at those grade levels, curricular considerations are important when we're looking at the results and thinking about our scope and sequence relative to the topics that are emphasized on the assessment. This is an area of continued evaluation by our science supervisor. The other areas we are looking at in terms of improving science achievement are similar to the ones I mentioned before, including the tutoring program that's now available to all students grades 6 through 12. The last part of the report does speak about the new state assessment that the Department of Education announced to the state of New Jersey in the middle of August. So we are all working to implement a new state assessment in the spring of 2026. We know some things about the new assessment, including that it is reported that it will be an adaptive assessment, which will be different than the state assessments that we've been reporting out on for the last several years. However, we don't really know what the format of the test is going to be. All districts are required to field test the new assessment, and for us, that is this week, starting tomorrow in most of our buildings. This field test is something that the state is requiring all districts to do in order to evaluate the test items and finalize the assessment for the spring. So for us, it is some practice in our logistics and organizing the accommodations and the testing around this new platform. And for students, it's an opportunity to see the platform for the first time before they're actually taking the assessment in the spring. So that is new on our plates for this year, and we're doing kind of the best we can. Something that came out very late in the summer and just before school opened. Any questions? The full report is linked. You're welcome.
If you do have any questions, send them to Ms. Fox, and we can address them at the next curriculum meeting. And with that, may I get a motion? Dave and Robin. And a roll call.
Ms. White?
Yes.
Dr. McCune?
Yes.
Mr. Molinari?
Yes.
Mr. Amin?
Yes.
Ms. Mohan?
Yes.
Ms. Corrado?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
And Mr. Omalanik?
Yes.
Okay. We are now up to public comment on agenda items. If you have something, come down and sign in at the clipboard and state your name and address at the microphone.
Good evening. My name is Jonathan Lane. I live at 335 Lyons. Back in the late 80s, I was on the board. The parents of the baseball players came to us and asked us to renovate the field, terrible drainage. The parents of the soccer players came a year later and asked us to provide drainage along the hillside of that field for much the same reason. We voted no. I thought I would tell you briefly why, and if the circumstances have changed, that's great. If they haven't changed, then I hope you've considered the things that I've got to tell you. First of all, I walked the fields myself, and the drainage was back in '89 or whatever, was bad. Maybe worse than bad. However, when we looked into it, those fields were purchased by that land was purchased by the town using New Jersey Green Acres funds. Those fields belong to the town. They don't belong to the Board of Education. The taxpayers' money that the Board of Education gets, we felt was in trust to pay for education. At that time, the estimate to fix the baseball field was the equivalent of 10 teachers' salaries and benefits. So do you want to lose equivalent of 50 classroom sessions, or do the baseball field, which we don't own? Another item that mattered to us, it's the same taxpayers, so do we really care? Anybody has a right to sign up to use those fields. We have it, back in the day, the sign-up sheet book was hidden away, and Ridge, the athletic department, got first shot at signing up. And so they signed up for the time they want. Whether that would stand up if it was challenged, we didn't explore. But anybody in the state has the right to use access to Green Acres land back then. On the subject of the soccer field, I discussed it with the Green Acres, who in the world knows what department, but you need, to make a change in Green Acres property, you need environmental sign-offs, you need, the permitting process is very tough. You can't take, one of the problems was you couldn't take the water that runs along beside that soccer field and dump it onto what was then, at that time, the Lock property. You can't dump it on your neighbor. And the Lock property itself was purchased with Green Acre funds later with a thought that we would put in.
Sir, your time is up.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Vicki Coffin from 63 Woodstone Road. I just wanted to make sure we would, when you have the building permit that you're approving for this field, that the drainage, the ditch that's present there, the drainage ditch needs to be cleared all the way across. There are trees down and a lot of vegetation in it. It looks like it will work if it is cleared. So I just didn't see anything about it being cleared as part of the project. So I was just making sure that happened. And then someone mentioned that both the board and the town would make sure it stays clear. So thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Karen Fisher at 15 Homestead Road. I just wanted to say I love my neighborhood and my neighbors, so I think taking into consideration concerns that they may have who've lived in our neighborhood longer is wonderful, and please continue to do so. But as a parent of a student athlete, I also just wanted to say thank you for bringing this project forward. You know, you see a lot of injuries caused by fields that aren't properly maintained that impact our students long term. So as someone whose child can walk home after practice in the upcoming years, I have an 8th grader that is most likely will be using those. But just in general, for the student athletes in the district and the visiting students who come to play on our fields as well, I just wanted to say thank you for making that investment to ensure that those facilities are safe for all of our athletes to do that. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else for public comment? Okay, I will close public comment then. We are up to approval of minutes. May I have a motion? Brett, and Janice. And roll call.
Ms. White?
Yes.
Dr. McCune?
Yes.
Mr. Molinari?
Yes.
Mr. Amin?
Yes.
Ms. Mohan?
Yes.
Ms. Corrado?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
And Mr. Omalanik?
Yes.
We're up to finance, and there is a report, Dave?
Yep, there's a report, and then I'll go through the items. So first, the report from September 23rd. A lot of these have been addressed either in vote last meeting or other times, but I'll go through them real quick. So we got a donation, thank you again, from the Ridge Runners Club. They donated a pole vault mats that were valued at over $21,000, and we voted and approved that last meeting. We continue to look at our health benefits and the costs of that. And we did again this past month on Friday. July and August are running over, but you can't just look at a couple months. September looks like it was running under, so we're doing fairly well there, and we got rebates just recently, which came in better than expected. Debt service, it's not due for 5 years. But we are looking at it now. There's a lot of things, a lot of reasons we need to look at it sooner than later. So we continue to review that. The varsity field project, we talked about that a lot already, and I'm going to mention it again when we vote on in a few minutes. We also did a budget comparative analysis. So the committee reviewed district costs against comparable districts using publicly available information, including student-teacher ratios, student administrator ratios, per pupil expenditures in areas such as classroom instruction, support services, administration, and maintenance. The analysis showed that our district is very comparable to peer districts in nearly all categories. The committee will continue to use these metrics to monitor appropriate spending. Next, the committee reviewed our fund balance projections, which remain largely unchanged. The district expects a $2.3 million lower fund balance in the next budget cycle. Administration continues to explore options to address the anticipated shortfall, including not replacing staff who have retired or left during the current year. And then again, I think we mentioned these last time, but just as a reminder, we're looking at the capital projects for next year. We're looking at Lee Field track is in urgent need of repair, so we're looking at doing that. And then we're going to do at least one roof project next year over the summer and one parking lot. That's it for the report.
Thank you. Does anybody have questions?
So just to make sure everyone noticed, item 9 on the agenda, if there are any questions, Mr. Rawl and I can certainly jump in for some explanation, but in short, item 9 is the project that was mentioned by the public here with regard to the Ridge High School varsity complex. The base bid that you'll note there is $2,749,130. That base bid is designed to provide drainage improvements on all 3 fields, which is the varsity softball field, the varsity baseball field, and the varsity soccer field. In addition, the base bid includes a renovation of the natural grass field of the soccer field into a new artificial turf field instead. There's some lighting improvements that are strictly along the pathways. There is no lighting for the actual fields of play anywhere. However, the base bid does include conduit being installed underground around the varsity artificial turf soccer field. No light stanchions, no light poles, no lights of any kind, but there will be conduit installed in the ground for the possibility of lighting in the future. There are 2 alternates included in the base bid of $2,749,130. So the base plus 2 alternates is that figure. The 2 alternates are associated with some fencing. One fence is around the soccer field itself. There's a fence there now that's in significant disrepair, so the time to do it makes sense when we're redoing the field. And the second fence that's included in that total fund is the fence that represents the backstop of the varsity baseball field. The varsity softball field backstop was replaced a handful of years ago when we renovated that field, but the varsity baseball field backstop hasn't been addressed in quite some time, and it's on our long-range list of repairs to do, so we included that as an alternate and would like to take advantage of that here as well. And if there's any questions, Jim or I can try to answer them.
Dave?
And just I want to mention two other items that we're voting on too, number 7. So that is a change order related to the Mount Prospect roof replacement. There's been quite a few issues with that vendor, and we are reducing the amount by $28,000 we're going to bill them for. And then number 10 on here, the Cedar Hill roof, we're approving an architect about $59,000 to look at that roof as well.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, there are 17 items. May I have a motion? Smriti and Keith. And a roll call.
Ms. White?
Yes.
Dr. McCune?
Yes.
Mr. Molinari?
Yes.
Mr. Amin?
Yes.
Ms. Mohan?
Yes.
Ms. Corrado?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot? Yes. And Mr. Omalanik?
Yes.
Okay, we're up to personnel, and there is a report. Is there anything that you can actually report out on?
Yeah, there's actually a couple things I can report out on. One of them is a slight modification to the configuration of the campus monitors at Ridge High School and several secretarial positions, which resulted in cost savings. So instead of having 8 campus monitors working 4.5 hours a day, 4 days a week, and they're staggered, so they're not all there at the same time to cover, you know what I mean, the school day. Now there are 6 campus monitors, each working 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. And there was also savings from reducing some full-time positions to part-time at Ridge. And the next item is lunch aid and recess aid at Cedar Hill. Cedar Hill School has over 100 more students than the other schools. And so each of the other schools, including Cedar Hill, has had 6 lunch aides that each work 3 hours a day, usually with 3 inside the cafeteria and 3 outside at recess. So at Cedar Hill, because of the larger population, we are going to add a 7th lunch aide. Let's see. And then we just reviewed the open positions that are all listed on the district website, and Mr. Syed gave an update, which is always way out of date by the time we get around to our meeting, of who he's been interviewing and hiring. So if you want to see the positions that are still open, you can go to the website and check them out. And that's it.
Okay. There are 22 items. May I get a motion?
So I just had one quick question. For the Cedar Hill for the lunch aid, is that for indoor or outdoor, the extra one?
Well, they're usually outside, but if there's indoor recess, then they're spread inside. Yeah.
Okay. Now can I get a motion? Janice, Brett, and a roll call.
Ms. White?
Yes.
Dr. McCune?
Yes.
Mr. Molinari?
Yes.
Mr. Amin?
Yes.
Ms. Mohan?
Yes.
Ms. Corrado?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot? Yes. And Mr. Omalanik?
Yes.
We're up to policy, and there is a report.
Yes, for policy, for the school year calendar, we wanted to discuss, a reminder that religious holidays are excused days for students. Students do have 1 full day to make up work for each day they're absent. And, teachers are encouraged to limit major assignments, assessments during religious holidays. Students should reach out proactively to the teacher for religious holidays. We did revise the 2026 school district calendar. We wanted to clarify we're just simply adjusting Eid by 1 day from March 10th to March 9th. That's after consulting the Islamic Society of Basking Ridge. So that was a slight change. For the school year calendar 2028 to 2029 is the proposed calendar, and the BOE reviewed its current calendar policies regarding holidays and did not recommend any changes. With school use of facilities, that's something we are currently working with administration to come up with guidelines regarding the field use as it relates to management of sound and lighting. The policy committee recognizes the priority needs of student-sponsored activities versus outside rentals. The process will take some time as the committee wants to understand the field use of various stakeholders. Consideration will be given to sound, noise levels, and field lighting. So in other words, it's a work in progress, but we are working on a policy. And for personal property as well, we're also working on a policy to cover a teacher's personal property if damaged during student altercation. And that is something, again, that will be hopefully in the very near future. That's it. Our next policy meeting is coming up.
Does anybody have any questions or comments that they want to make regarding the report? Keith?
Yeah, and just a comment, because you see a lot of people from the Homestead Village area, have concerns about the fields, and, I hope you can see that the board has listened and taken in your feedback. As far as you've already heard about the lights, no lights at this time, although the district maintains its flexibility depending on what the future may bring, but also looking at your noise concerns too. So we're revisiting that. So we heard you when you came up, and we are working to be better, even better neighbors than before.
Okay. There are 3 items. May I get a motion? Keith and Dave, and a roll call.
Ms. White?
Yes.
Dr. McCune?
Yes.
Mr. Molinari?
Yes.
Mr. Amin?
Yes.
Ms. Mohan?
Yes.
Ms. Corrado?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
And Mr. O'Malonic?
Yes.
We're up to curriculum, and there is a report.
Yes. So one item on the board agenda tonight is a textbook. We talked about that last month, and that'll be come up to a board vote tonight, I believe. Ms. Fox, in her overview of the state assessment report, hit many of the beats that you see in the curriculum minutes. One thing, Allison Reed, one of the supervisors for the special services, she talked about students who take with significant learning needs who take the DLM in place of the NJSLA. This is a population, about 1% of the student population. These students are not benchmarked against others, but they're evaluated on their own individual progress. Ms. Fox also talked about the new state assessment that the district is currently field testing. And I just want to reemphasize these state mandates, how the additional stress they're putting on districts like Berners Township and really all the districts, because now the students are field testing it this fall. They're actually going to be testing it this spring. This is on top of all the regular tests they already are required to do. So the mandates from Trenton come fast and furious, and it does not make things easier for the school districts. One thing we discussed was computer applications in high school. This is a course that is currently being run. There are 24 students this fall, another 24 this spring. The course was utilizing an online version of the textbook that was discontinued. It's a very activity-based course, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, that sort of thing. And the teacher has been supplementing with other online exercises in lieu of the discontinued text. This is neither ideal nor sustainable. Online access to a new version of the text is available for $4,500 and will allow the course to run while the district explores more permanent options for the future. We talked about a dual enrollment opportunity for, of course, genocide and human behavior. Now, Ridge currently runs a genocide course. There was discussion around adapting an existing genocide course at Keene University for dual enrollment. Adapting the course should circumvent some of the challenges the district has had in developing other dual enrollment courses. For instance, adapting an existing course at Keene should be less of a lift for the district versus modifying a Ridge course to fit an outside institution's criteria, such as the district has experienced with Raritan Valley Community College. The interest level among the students is still being evaluated. And that's the report.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, great. We have one item. Can I have a motion? Robin, Keith, and a roll call.
Ms. White?
Yes.
Dr. McCune?
Yes.
Mr. Molinari?
Yes.
Mr. Amin?
Yes.
Ms. Mohan?
Yes.
Ms. Corrado?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
And Mr. O'Malonic?
Yes.
And that brings us to wellness, and there's a report.
Yes, the committee met on September 24th. The first item we discussed was the Pride survey data. Caitlin Cartaccio of the Bernards Township Health Department shared the results of the Parents Resource Institute for Drug Education, or PRIDE survey, conducted in winter of 2024. The PRIDE survey has been administered in thousands of schools nationwide, including in Bernards Township in 2019, 2022, and 2024. For 2026, the survey will be rebranded as the PS Plus survey. The Bernards Township School District and Bernards Township Health Department administer the survey to identify youth substance use and school climate issues specific to students in our schools. The full report is linked in the Wellness Committee meeting minutes. Some highlights include a total of 916 students in 6th, 8th, and 10th and 12th grades took the 2024 survey, representing 72% of all 6th and 8th graders and 55.4% of all 10th and 12th graders. Local rates of substance use are lower than national averages, reflecting strong prevention, parental involvement, and community norms. Alcohol and marijuana remain priority concerns, especially as national attitudes shift toward normalization and legalization. Mental health and peer norms are critical areas of focus. The district has strong protective factors to build on, but must stay proactive in education, prevention, and support services. Following the presentation, committee members discussed the possibility of tracking survey data longitudinally and exporting it to the district's platform. Members also asked if additional survey questions could distinguish between medical use and recreational use of marijuana and edibles. Another member asked if it is possible to identify a correlation between extracurricular and religious participation and substance use. Ms. Cartaccio will look into these requests and share her findings with the district. The committee also discussed what, if any, implications the survey results and district drug screening data might have on existing board policy. Mr. Markarian and Dr. Lazovic will follow up on that. The committee also discussed Joy Roots training follow-up. During the 2024-25 school year, William Annan school staff and administrators participated in professional development workshops and training, which provided strategies to address school-based incidents that affect building culture and climate. Over the last school year, 50 William Annan staff members were trained, and this year, 80 staff members are now using community circles for classroom instruction and for Viking Voices character education meetings with 7th and 8th grade students. This year, the staff who were trained will turnkey the strategies they learned to additional William Annan staff. The turnkey community circles training also aligns with new State Department of Education alternatives for teacher evaluation. Starting in September, highly qualified teachers have the opportunity to use one of their 2 annual observations to teach a professional development class, undertake action research, or participate in reflective peer-to-peer observation sessions. Ms. Fox and Ms. Udock will like to use a portion of the district's Title II or Title IV allocated funding to provide virtual coaching sessions for staff trainers throughout this year. They will request a quote from Greg Lucas of Joy Roots for this coaching, which they estimate will cost between $2,000 and $4,000. The committee supports this request. We also discussed Wellness Committee, Student Council, school visits. We will be scheduling visits to Liberty Corner, Mount Prospect, and Oak Street schools to meet with Student Council representatives during the upcoming Wellness Committee meetings throughout the school year. And the next Wellness Committee meeting is scheduled for this Thursday, October 30th.
And Janice, also, we're starting that meeting actually at the school, right? Is it Oak Street that we're going to?
Yes, we will be
So
at
if
Oak
you're on the
Street School
committee,
this Thursday.
We'll go to Oak Street. Okay. Any questions for Janice? Okay. We're up to facilities.
Yep, the committee met on October 8th. We reviewed the status of the work orders and were very satisfied. No notable issues were discussed. The township fields for use of school sports was tabled until the next meeting because of availability. We reviewed the performance of school buses, emphasized that notice must be provided by the bus company when there are issues or are going to be late. No notable issues were found, but we'll review again next meeting. We reviewed the varsity field project, which we already talked about and voted on. Discussed that the lights and poles were only alternatives. Discussed that the scour hole was moved to further improve and direct the flow of water. Mentioned that the policy committee should review and update the sound policy. There were several evergreens added, and then talked about the projects that Dave mentioned earlier about the Mount Prospect roof deductions. Talked about the summer 2026 projects, including the Ridge Track, one of the parking lots, and Cedar Hill roof. The direct install, we're still waiting on the state, and the next meeting will be November 20th.
Anybody have any questions? Okay. Do we have any liaison reports? Okay. Robin?
I just wanted to briefly say that a number of us attended the New Jersey School Boards Association workshop last week, and one of the things, listening to the Commissioner of Education, talking about all the different things the Department of Ed has tried to do to be responsive to feedback from districts, and they're doing some good things, trying to update different systems and things. But, when Keith was talking about mandates from Trenton and hitting on districts, like there's still a lot that we have to do, and a lot of it is not funded, by the state. So I think Smriti and I were talking, and Janice and Brett, at I think the last day, about doing more advocacy for our district, to try to get our voice heard. But we can't do that really as board members without the community also, reaching out to our representatives and to the DOE about some of these issues. So it's just something that we should, think about and try to have more discussions.
Okay. That brings us to public comment on non-agenda items. If anybody has anything that they'd like to come down and talk about, state your name and address, and please sign in at the clipboard.
So I think I probably should have talked about this first, but I'm Marissa Tyak. I live in 11 Lake Road. Good evening, members of the Board of Education. I initiated a petition calling for the reevaluation of our school calendar to close the district on major religious holidays currently observed by minority student populations. This petition currently has 230 signatures. I want to be clear from the start, I'm not asking for more days off overall. I'm asking the board to thoughtfully reevaluate our current calendar structure and shift the existing allotment of non-instructional days to better align with the needs of all families in Bernards Township. I understand that the school calendar is a complex issue, and I want to acknowledge the survey conducted a few years ago that resulted in moving our spring break to a separate week from surrounding districts, ostensibly to provide a cheaper week for vacations and giving one holiday off per year per religion. But a fundamental truth about broad community surveys is that the majority will always win. While this approach works for a matter of convenience, it fails when it comes to matters of representation and fundamental respect for minority groups. The current calendar policy, which separates days like Good Friday from the established spring break, actually results in a greater number of days off spread across the year. This fragmentation complicates childcare, particularly for parents who work in neighboring school districts that operate on a different calendar. Aligning our calendar with major religious observances and consequently with surrounding districts provides significant logistical benefit to our entire working community, not just the families celebrating that holiday, as it also makes it more likely for students to be able to participate in valuable camps or programs that take place during standard school breaks. But the most profound issue is the message that we send to our students. When schools remain open on a day of major religious significance for a segment of our community, it subtly but powerfully suggests to all students that the beliefs of their classmates are not important enough to warrant respect. While our current policy allows for excused absences, which is appreciated, it is not enough. These students still miss out on crucial classroom instruction, miss extracurriculars, and are burdened with making up work, adding unnecessary stress to their days. An unexcused absence in this context makes students feel like second-class citizens on a day of profound importance to their family. When we recognize a major holiday, we create a learning opportunity for every student to understand different points of view. It's an organic opportunity to teach tolerance and kindness. Some of my best childhood memories are celebrating and learning about different holidays with friends whose families celebrated something different from my own. Closing the schools on these days sends an undeniable positive message. Your beliefs matter, and we respect your differences. By creating a truly inclusive calendar, we affirm the value of every single student in this district and foster a community of mutual respect that extends far beyond the classroom walls. We recognize that closing for every single religious holiday may not be feasible, but that does not absolve us as a community of the responsibility to continuously strive to do better for our student population. I urge the board to review the petition and reevaluate the way major religious holidays are handled within the district for future years. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll close public comment. Okay. Anybody have anything for board forum? Okay, then with that, can I get a motion to adjourn? Smriti and Keith. Thank you, everybody.